Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Midoriya Izuku. Now, the two of you did not always sleep together in the same bed, but sometimes you did that. And today just happened to be one of the mornings of those days where you got the opportunity to share the same bed as you slept. And he woke up with your arms wrapped around him and your face buried in his chest. Well, it was certainly something to wake up to, and he found himself blushing, his heart rate picking up. He didn't know how to deal with this at times. Maybe he was used to it last night, but waking up like this was something else entirely. It was a whole new experience on its own. An experience that he will never forget, and one that will definitely change his life in a way of its own. Maybe because he'll want to do this more. Maybe because he will keep thinking about it. Maybe because he'll want more than this. He doesn't know yet. But what he does know is that he doesn't want you to wake up yet. And even though it could be getting kind of late, he doesn't bother to check. He stays in your arms as you hold him and he holds you, looking at you as if you're an angel that had descended from heaven above. You may as well be to him, because you were the entire world. You were his sun, his moon, and his stars. All he needed to see, and all that he needed for him to be happy. And right now as he held you, looking at you with the most appreciative eyes, he knew he was lucky to be able to have someone like you, and he would cherish every moment by your side. He would cherish your presence and make it known to you that you are the most delightful person to be around with, that he's lucky to have you, and that he wants you to stick by his side, now and forever. So, hopefully you'll be able to do that once you wake up. Todoroki Shoto. Now, Todoroki is a whole other story. After all, Todoroki is not used to that sort of closeness or intimacy, being close to someone in this way, and waking up to them. And he's not entirely used to it, or the way it could feel. The way that your breath feels against his neck in the morning, or your body draped over his own. The warmth of your skin, and the heartbeat of yours that you could clearly feel. It was all too much, and yet, in a way it was not enough, because he wanted more of you, and yet he was still overwhelmed. Conflicting feelings in his heart and mind that still were made out to be something beautiful, because he was happy to wake up with you, happy to see you like this, and to have you. And right now, he didn't really want to move. But soon enough, your eyes blinked up at him, and you smiled, pressing a soft kiss to his cheek. Good morning, Shoto. Oh, it's kind of late. We should get up. And before you could even try to get up from bed, he wraps his arms around you tighter, pulling you even closer, and keeping you in place. I don't want to get up, Oyan. How about we just stay like this? You and me. Don't you want to stay with me? He whispers, and you blush, smiling softly. Well, it's not that I don't want to stay. I want to. I really do. And he finds himself smiling. And maybe that day truly isn't important for either of you to get up early. It's just one day in the year. And it will be just one day where the two of you get to spend the morning in a slow way with each other. A peaceful morning, free from the difficulties and the stress of life. For just one day, with the two of you. Bakugou Katsuki. Katsuki always slept early, like a grandpa. It was weird of him. It truly was. It was something you could never understand. But you admired it enough, at least he had a healthy schedule, unlike you. And that's why he had taken it upon himself as your perfect boyfriend to get you to sleep with him in the same bed at the same time, cocooning you in his arms, as if that was something. But it actually worked, most of the time, and you were able to sleep early with him. Waking up as early as he did was still a challenge to you, something you tried your best to manage. And that's exactly why he got to wake up early when you were in his arms and see you like this. He would spend the first 10 minutes of his day doing nothing but watching you, your peaceful expression, and that feeling of your hands lingering upon his skin, the way you held him, and sometimes you would even mumble in your sleep. And if you were to be honest, it was the cutest thing in the world. Not that he would ever say that out loud, but he still felt it, and at the very least, he admitted that in his head, that he thought you were quite adorable, that you made his heart melt, and made his feelings some weird mush he couldn't understand. He loved you in every possible way, and he would kiss you so softly and so sweetly, in a way you wouldn't wake up, because, God forbid you do, he'd be embarrassed forever about being so sappy. But he just wants to. You look so beautiful, so peaceful, and so lovely. And he wants you to be loved. He wants to love you, and so he would. And surprisingly enough, he's actually quite nice in the morning. He would wake you up and make you coffee or tea or whatever you prefer. And if he's feeling good enough, you may even get breakfast in bed. But make sure you're awake for it. After all, it's definitely not a breakfast that you'd want to miss. Not to mention that Katsuki worked a great deal on it, and his cooking is totally out of this world. And having breakfast with him is definitely something that's sweet. Sweeter than what you would really expect. So it will be worth seeing and experiencing.